you need to learn the language of your husband. You need to learn how to communicate to him for him to get what you're saying. You always hear, oh, don't sleep on an argument or don't sleep on anger. Sometimes you need to sleep on it, boy. Sometimes you need to sleep on it. We want to be traditional. We want to submit to our husbands. We want to make sure that they're happy and everything. But it should never be at the expense of your relationship with Allah. Hey guys, it's your girl Summer. I am here on the TOUGHCESS podcast, and we are here exploring the different stories of different people, understanding the different journeys so we can all build better and become the greater versions of ourselves. So you all know I have just got married. Well, not just got married, but I've been married for a year now. And child, I have learned a lot in this year of marriage. Like, I can't wait to get into the tea with you guys. Because there's so much to learn, not just about your partner, not just about how you can maintain your marriage, but ways that you can better yourself, and also things that you learn about yourself. There's so much to get into. So let's just get into it. So I got married in 2023, in June 2023, to an amazing person. Shout out to my LJ. Honestly, marriage is a beautiful thing, guys. Marriage is genuinely beautiful. It comes with its challenges, but I have really enjoyed my first year of marriage. Allahumma barik, alhamdulillah. And I genuinely pray that everyone out there that hasn't been married yet or isn't married yet experiences the beauty of marriage, because it is a beautiful thing. And, before I got married, I was hearing the whole, you have to be strong. Marriage is hard. Futuo mandia, in Mandinka, futuo mandia, nyantakala sabar latile, you need to have sabar. In Wolof, they'll say mun, you have to munyal, you have to mun your husband and all these things. And I didn't really understand it until I got into the marriage. Marriage comes with its challenges. And sometimes when we say challenges, we genuinely don't mean it in a bad way. It just comes with new things that you have to learn, new things that you have to adjust to in so many different things. And here I'm going to share a little bit of my experiences and things that you can learn and things that you can do in your first year of marriage. So yeah, I don't even know where to really start, but I think the first thing for me that I realized is that you really need to understand that men and women are not the same. We are not the same. All this equality stuff, just throw it out of the bin. We're not the same. We don't think the same. We don't do things the same. We don't see things the same. And it's okay. Honestly, guys, it is okay. It's okay for men to be the way that they are, and it's okay for us women to be the way that we are. We're never going to be the same, and it's okay. And I think it took me a while for me to really understand that, but I had to get it. Like, I had to understand that, listen, my man's not going to know everything. He's not going to see things the way that I do. He's not going to do things the way that I do, and that's okay. And allowing him the grace to be able to be himself, and him allowing me the grace for me to be myself. That's number one for me, that understanding that we're actually different. We come from different backgrounds. We come from different like walks of life as well. The way that he does things or the way that he was raised would be completely different to the way that I'm raised. And the minute that you start to understand that, you need to be able to learn how to compromise. Compromise is important. That's another thing that I learned, that you need to compromise. You ain't by yourself anymore. You can't just do things the way that you want it to do it anymore. Especially if you're like me and you like to micromanage things, and you like things a certain way, and you like to plan things, and you like to do all these things, things. It's hard, compromising, but it's really important. And I think, when you're someone that wants a healthy marriage and you want things to be smooth sailing and you want to have a nice, happy home, you need to learn how to compromise. And that doesn't come overnight. Sometimes you might want things your way one day, they might want things their way another day, but you do need to learn how to compromise eventually, and learn how to kind of give them grace and allow them to be themselves. So that's really the second thing that I learned in marriage, is compromise is everything. Which takes me on to the next big thing, I think, that I learned in my marriage anyway, is communication. I don't even know why I didn't put that first, but yeah, communication, man. You guys need to communicate. Like, for me, I just felt like I'm already a good communicator, so I'm going to be fine. But I feel like communicating in your marriage and communicating in like a social setting and communicating with your friends and family and colleagues is completely different. You need to learn the language of your husband. You need to learn how to communicate to him for him to get what you're saying. Because the way that I'm going to communicate to my mom about something and the way that she'll get me is not going to be the same way that my husband will get me. And it's not going to be the same way that my friends will get me. You know what I mean? So, we always talk about love languages and all that stuff. Yeah, you need to know your love languages, but you also really need to understand your husband's communication style. And you really need to understand what is it that you can do to help him comprehend what you're saying. It's not just about the communication part, it's genuinely about the comprehension part as well. Is he comprehend? Are you hearing me? Are you listening to what I'm saying? And if you're not listening to what I'm saying, I'm not going to take it in a bad way. I'm just going to help you learn how to listen to what I'm saying. You know what I mean? A lot of the times, as women, maybe we might get a bit feisty quite quickly, like, oh, you're not hearing what I'm saying, or you're not listening to me, or you're not getting me. But instead of complaining, try to teach the person how to actually get you and understand you and actually learn how to hear what you're saying, comprehend your communication style, and same with him, vice versa. So when we talk about communication, we really need to talk about comprehension as well. And we really need to talk about ways that you can teach your partner to really understand what you've got to say. Another thing that I learned in marriage is that you should never assume things. Never assume that your partner knows you or should know better, or never assume that they mean something, like they've said something, this is what they meant by it, or they've done something, this is what they meant by it. Don't assume, seek the fact. Honestly, this will save you a lot of problems. Don't assume things, just actually ask and get the facts, because you never know what that person actually meant, or you don't know what was going through their mind or how they were seeing that thing or whatever. So don't assume, just ask. And that's where the communication comes in, because if you're assuming things, that turns into an argument because you've already made a judgment in your head. But if you communicate things in a nice way and you don't assume, you actually ask the person, you might actually get a pleasant answer. But if you're just assuming things, then that gets the other person annoyed, and then it's something else. Yeah, so don't assume, just ask. Another thing I've really learnt in my first year of marriage is you need to have fun, man. You actually just need to have fun. This life is actually just filled with stress and so much different things that we can complain about, but learn to actually enjoy your husband's company, your partner's company. um there are little things that you can enjoy, that it doesn't have to take too much, it doesn't have to be too much, it doesn't have to be too hard. You can enjoy the little things in your partner, the little things, the little moments. Like me and LJ will just sit there and just do nothing sometimes. We'll just do nothing, we'll just be chilling, and we actually enjoy that. So it's learning to enjoy things, be happy, stay away from like the socials all the time. Actually have quality time with each other is really good in your first year of marriage, especially because you're getting to know each other. You don't know this person 100% yet. You're still learning them, you're still trying to get to know them, you're still trying to get to know what they like, what they don't like. So quality time is so important. And I think that was a really big thing for me. Like sometimes I'll just be like to LJ, like, put your phone away, like let's chill, let's talk. um and it's not like let's talk as in a intimidating way. It's like, let's talk, let's chill, let's vibe. Like make that person your friend, actually enjoy time with them. A lot of people are so stuck on the whole love thing that they forget to like the person that they're with, and forget to actually build a friendship. You're not just building a relationship, you're building a lifelong friendship. You see, when that love fades, or when you're looking crinkum crankum in the morning or any time of the day and you're just not in the mood, it's the friendship part of things that you need to remember. And it keeps you going, because with your friend you're gonna have your ups and downs and whatever, but you don't judge it you don't judge them for anything. You just kind of enjoy the moment, and you guys have fun when you need to. If you need to bicker, you will, but it's never anything deep. And I think that's what you can actually take from your marriage as well, or like implement into your marriage, is that feeling of friendship, and actually enjoying quality time with each other makes a big difference to your first year of marriage. Another thing that I learned in my first year of marriage is that you really need to put Allah first. When you put Allah first, everything else aligns very easily. But when you start to kind of worship your partner, or you see your partner as like a mini god, that's when the problem lies. Because a lot of the times, obviously, as women, we want to be traditional, we want to submit to our husbands, we want to make sure that they're happy and everything. But it should never be at the expense of your relationship with Allah. You need to cultivate that separately. We want to be traditional, we want to submit to our husbands, we want to make sure that they're happy and everything, but it should never be at the expense of your relationship with Allah. You need to cultivate that separately. Obviously, you guys will have a home that is going to be orientated. It's going to be around, worshiping Allah, or like it's going to be an Islamic home that you're building. But you need to make sure that you maintain your personal relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your relationship, in your marriage, so that your marriage can be fruitful, so that your marriage can have barakah. All these things are really, really important. So yeah, I think that's really important. Another thing that I feel like I have learnt in my first year of marriage, and I'm gonna make this my last point for this episode. Maybe I might do a part two, who knows? Because this part I really need to elaborate on. People People's marriages fail not because they don't love each other, not because they don't care about each other, not because they don't want to be with each other, but because of their lack of conflict management skills. Guys, if you want your marriage to last and you want to have a fruitful marriage, if you want to have a good marriage, I know I've only been married for 1 year, but honestly, if you want to have a good marriage, you need to learn how to manage conflict, because this is a make or break. The things that you say when you're angry, the things that you do when you're angry, how you react to things when you're angry can literally make or break your marriage. Honestly, it's happened a lot of times where people have, they love each other, they care about each other, but one small bit of anger, you've lost control of your emotions. Now you're saying things that you're going to regret. Now you're doing things and you're holding resentment, and then khalas, that's it. The marriage is done because you've not learned how to manage conflict properly. And I think it's so important for you to learn how to do that. It's so important for you to know how to manage conflict properly. Let me give you a couple tips of how you can manage conflict before we wrap up this episode for today. First of all, communicating. Second of all, being open, being transparent with your partner. Thirdly, not assuming, just asking them, how they feel. Another thing is for you to not react on your emotions. If you need to take a step back, take a step back. You always hear, oh, don't sleep on an argument, or don't sleep on anger. Sometimes you need to sleep on it, boy. Sometimes you need to sleep on it. Sometimes you need to sleep on that anger. You need to sleep on that emotion, because if you talk in that moment, you might not say something that makes sense, but if you sleep on it, you allow yourself to actually calm down and put things into perspective, then yeah, you can then address the situation. Another thing is, you guys are a partnership, you guys are a team. It's you guys against the problem, not you guys against each other. So these are my tips in terms of how to manage conflict, not raising your voice at each other, not overstepping boundaries, knowing your limits. We're going to get into this a bit deeper. I think I should definitely share a bit more about what I learned in marriage, because there's a lot. I'm always learning things, I'm always reading things, I'm always trying to better myself. So I'm really happy to share the things that I've learned. But I hope you guys have benefited from these short little tips that I've got to share today about the things that I've learned in my marriage in this first year. And honestly, guys, I'm really happy. Alhamdulillah, Allah Mubarak. Allah has blessed me with a really good person, Alhamdulillah. And I pray that Allah also blesses you all with a good person, someone that's kind, someone that has empathy towards you, someone that is caring, someone that fears Allah, someone that will be the coolness of your eyes, and so much more. I mean, because you're deserving of it, you're worthy, You are worthy of love. You are worthy of so much. And we're gonna talk into a lot of things. We're gonna talk about our risk, our how Allah doesn't actually destine for everyone to be married, and ways to kind of deal with that. We're gonna talk about ways to kind of better yourself in your marriage if you're someone that's not healed from past trauma or past things and you've brought that into your marriage, ways to unlearn that. We're going to get into a lot of different things, but I'm going to leave it there for today. I hope you guys have taken something from this video and have benefited in one way or another, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Remember to follow me on all my socials. If you need to book a consultation with me, you want to talk things in a bit more depth on a one-to-one, book a consultation. The link is in my bio. Also, download the APS app if you are Gambian sending money to Gambia or Senegal. They are our partners, and I would love for them to, to grow and for us to continue supporting the Gambian economy through money remittance. So please do download the app if you are sending money to Gambia or Senegal. And yeah, guys, I will catch you guys in my next video, inshallah. Bye.